Hi, fellow warriors. Even if we're reluctant warriors, it's not like we chose this fight. So, I think of warriors as like people who are like, yeah, I chose this and I'm gonna, defend my land. And we're just like, wait a minute, we gotta fight this crowd? Anyway, I never edit these because if I get off track or I lose a word, that's real. And we all go through that. So, feel like it's got to be honest. So, I was alone in the house for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like 6 days, which it's a long time for me to be alone in the house. Actually, never lived alone. I was diagnosed at 22. I went straight from living with my family to living with a roommate in college and then being engaged, very ill advised, and then living back with my dad and then my mom. So I've really never had that experience. So it's obviously it's a different thing when you have MS because for some of you guys, it's not a problem. And I hope it never is. But for some of us, we're like, if I fall and no one's here, what am I going to do about that? Or, just anything. Like if something happens, like how am I going to cope with it? Like I told you guys in another video how I didn't fall, but I knew that I was going to either pass out or my legs were going to collapse the other day in the kitchen. And so intentionally, I decided to just go down myself and like sit on the ground and scooch my way to, take my dog out because that's better than sort of fainting and or falling and hitting your head or something like that. So, and then there's the other thing. Some of us, we won't take a shower if we're the only ones at home. And some of us, if we are home and someone else is home and we feel like we're going to take a shower, we sort of want to announce it. I'm going to take a shower now, you know, just so that people are aware. With me, it all depends. When I'm having a bad day, a bad week, a bad month, I will let people know, hey, I'm going to take a shower now. I mean, for me, I'm incredibly shy, and I would hate for someone other than, my mom helped me before she passed away, someone else to sort of help you when you're naked and if you fall in the shower and they've got to come and help you pick you up and you're all slippery. I almost said slobbery. Not slobbery, hopefully. Slippery and like it just, like it's the stuff no one talks about, but it's definitely something that can happen. I mean, able-bodied people slip in the shower, or fall or trip. It's just a little easier for them to get back up. But anyways, it's kind of leading me into what I want to talk about today, which is why is it so hard to ask for help? I don't think that I have the answer. Sometimes when I'm kind of mulling it over in my mind, I'll think I know the answer for about 5 minutes and then something will actually come up and I'll need to ask for help and I don't want to do it. I don't want to ask for help. I think it's hard enough for normal people, regular people, non-MSers, whatever we're going to call them, able-bodied. I don't know what, offends you, doesn't offend you, but you know what I'm talking about. People who don't have our issues. It's even hard for them to ask for help. I think, sorry, the fan's on, it's blowing these little baby hairs like up my nose, tickling me. I think a lot of times it's our pride that we don't want to have to. We want to be like, I can do this myself, I think there's a lot of pressure on women, not to get too political, but that we can just handle things. We don't need a man or, we're capable, whatever. And then I think for men, and I can't really speak for them because I'm not one, But I think for men, they sort of feel like the pressure's on them to be able to do it, because if you can't do it, then you're not a man. There's so many things in our head that mess with us, that get in the way of being able to ask for help. But I think we were sort of created to depend on one another. We congregate as humans, we congregate in families, we congregate in cities, in countries. We do that. We're not like in America, we're not 321 million people all living spread out and alone. We congregate. I think through evolution it was about survival. But what does that mean? It means we needed each other. We needed to help one another. And I don't know if it must not have always been so hard for us to ask for help. But I think a lot of it is pride. Somehow that, we should be able to handle it. I think that's linked to our self-esteem. Like, if I have to ask for help, I know for me with MS, it's like, if I have to ask for help with this, that means I can't do it. And I just don't want to put another thing on the list of things I can't do or can no longer do. I don't want that list to get any longer. I just don't. So it's kind of easier to be like, I'll just do it. And then somehow it means I'm more able-bodied than if I'd had help, because that would mean that I couldn't do it. I mean, see, when I say it in words, it sounds crazy. But I know we all struggle with it, because I talk to, non-MSers, and they, particularly women, like, it's hard to ask for help. And we don't want to trouble others. A lot of us who are, people pleasers, we don't want to trouble other people with our stuff. We know everybody's, got a million things going on, and there's only 24 hours in the day. And the last thing we want to do is say, hey, I got something else to add to your to-do list. And it can be embarrassing with certain things, especially with MS, when it's something that is so small. For example, when they were away, when my, I say family, but it's my best friend and her family, when they were away and I had that incident where I had to go to the ground, I was really weak that morning, I couldn't open the cap to my Gatorade. Sometimes I drink the sugar-free Gatorades to try to get some electrolytes, get extra hydrated. And I was ripping the skin off of the insides, trying to, open it. It was ridiculous. I still have, you can see that sore. That's from when I was trying to twist it. I'm, doing the Neosporin thing. But I was so determined. First of all, it's not like I was dying of thirst. It wasn't like I needed it, but I was trying to prove something to myself. This can't be a day when I can't open a bottle. I wouldn't allow that. It's like it was tied to my self-esteem. And guess what? I never did open it. I took my knife, not like a kitchen knife, but a foldable knife you would use, in the woods or something. And I stabbed the cap and did a little opening and drank out of it. I finally, I guess some pressure released, and I finally was able, even though it's not carbonated, I'm not a scientist, also not a doctor, should say that in every video, but it was so crazy. And then next day, when I wasn't that weak, got another one of those Gatorades, and I still couldn't open it. I had to do the knife thing again. And now I've got this vendetta against the Gatorade bottles. Was it a weird batch where everybody's just tighten the lids really? Or what the heck? It's still bugging me. It's attached to our self-esteem, our self-worth. When we need others more than they need us, that hurts. When you feel like you're always having to ask for the help, it's not for us. It's kind of sad. I'm not trying to depress you. But who's coming to us hey, can you help me out with this? Because even if they needed or wanted our particular skills, they look at us like, oh, I don't want to bother her. She's sick, or they think of us that way. So we're just walking around like asking for help all day long. Anyway, the worst part, I think, with asking for help, and it happened to me more in the very beginning when everything was erratic. Like sometimes you could not tell at all that I had MS. Other times, I had to use the walker. Like it was very roller coaster. And I've heard that that's, how it is in the beginning. Actually, that's what got me through the beginning, is talking to somebody who'd had it for longer and said, oh yeah, the first 3 to 5 years are very erratic. And then it sort of, smooths out. And I was like, oh, that's a relief. And that helped me because I was like, oh, okay, it's not always going to be this way. I was like a bipolar MS type of situation. I was like, it's there, now it's attacking me, and then it's like it's gone. So that's how mine was in the beginning. But so then you get the scenarios where people start to think you're faking it. And I will make an entire video on faking it. But just the asking for help thing is related to that. Because it's like, a lot of times people who don't get it, maybe they don't live with you, maybe they don't really know the nature of the illness. You ask them for help with something, and maybe it's something you did the day before, and they saw you do it the day before. And they're like, and maybe it's something that's not so pleasant. Maybe it's taking out the trash. For me, as an equestrian, it was wrapping horses' front legs. We do that a lot to prevent injury and support their ligaments and tendons. And it got to the point where some days it was really hard for me to squat down and wrap the horse's leg and then stand back up. And if I could do it, I maybe could do it, but then how much energy did that suck out of me? And then I've got to go ride that horse. Do you know what I mean? So I was pretty angry in the beginning when I found out that some people who were close to me thought I was faking it because of that reason. Because one moment I can do it and one moment I can't. And it's something that is something someone would want to get out of. So people get a little suspicious. Because it's weird. I mean, I don't know. I can't think of any other disease that is like that, is that erratic and up and down, and so like such a stark difference from one day to the next, or even 1 hour to the next. I mean, earlier today I was waiting for a doctor appointment on the phone. I was good to go. It was supposed to be 4:15. She was late. At 4:30 rolled around. I could barely keep my eyes open. And I had to end up canceling the appointment because she was 45 minutes late, and I was like, I was losing it. And now I haven't taken a nap, anything, and I don't know why I have energy now. It doesn't make any sense. And so we don't even know, and then other people see us and they don't know, and they start to wonder if it's something that we're faking or if it's all in our head. They can think you just want to be lazy and lay around all the time, when in reality it's like, I wish, do you know how badly I want to vacuum my room right now? But I don't have that in me right now. I don't even think I could safely go to the vacuum cleaner and bring it in here, let alone vacuum, because a lot of my weaknesses, core and lower back, forget about it. That's not going to happen. So, and it's one of those things. So asking for help is loaded with so many other things for us. And that, I think, is why it's so hard. When my best friend and her family were away, the curtain rod that holds up my curtains here fell down. I have the things up, whatever they're called, the things on the ends that the pole attaches to or like hangs in. I have them up with command strips, which work great, and they're the right type, they're the heaviness, but I'm not so good at following all the directions, and I may not have made sure the wall was perfectly clean, whatever. And then having to turn the heat on the last couple days, probably some kind of I don't know, something got unsticky, and the whole thing fell down. and it's pretty high up there. I mean, it's not even on camera, and it's pretty wide across. I will post a picture if I can figure out iMovie enough. And I was like, I gotta hang this back up. It helps climate control my room. I was like, I'm gonna have to stand on the bed and get this thing back up there. So I was like, all right, I can do this. I can do it. I'm gonna do it. My little dog was looking at me like, I don't think you should be doing that, Mom. I really don't think so. So I got up on the bed, which is hard enough to be standing on the bed. I felt like I was trying to surf or something. And I'm up on the bed, and I'm like, now I gotta deadlift the curtain rod, and then I go to put it back up there, and that's when I realize, oh, this little thing that it's supposed to rest in is just barely teetering. So I had to get back down, put it back down, get some more command strips, stick the thing better to the wall, and then wait for that to happen. Then got back up, curtain rod back up there, and I was like, I don't know if I trust this enough, because what if it comes down in the night, hits me in the face? You're getting paranoid. And we have earthquakes in California. I'm like, oh God, what if this doesn't last? And I thought, I need duct tape. I'm going to get some duct tape, and I'm going to duct tape this thing to the wall to ensure. So then I get up, and I'm like, I don't know where they keep the duct tape. So I finally find the duct tape. Got to get up on the bed again. I think by now this is the third time. And I'm duct taping this thing to the wall. And I'm reaching above, and I'm trying to balance. I am so sore today. I mean, I feel like I did try to have a surfing lesson or something. Oh my gosh, I'm sore. But I did it, and I was proud of myself. That was a victory. So yes. But here's the thing. The whole point of that is that if my family had been home, would I have asked for help? Or would I have just kept trying to do it and only asked for help if something had gone terribly wrong? I think I know the answer, and I think you do too. I don't know if I feel like I have to constantly prove to myself that I'm not that sick, that I'm still able, I'm still capable. And I'm not sure that's a bad thing, because I did it. It's up there. But I do want to get better at asking for help. I don't want to feel guilty. I don't want to have it stuck in my head 20 years later, dealing with this, that people are going to think I'm faking it. Because if they do think you're faking it, they're not worth your time. And I get it. That might be your husband. That might be your wife. That might be one of your parents. But you've got to sort of separate that toxicity. And perhaps at the same time, use the words from the Bible, forgive them for they know not what they do. Because they really can't understand what we go through. And I know that's frustrating because I get frustrated by it as well. But they can't get it. So yeah, I got the curtain rod back up. Made myself really sore. And it made me think about how we do all need each other. So I know I'm going to try to always think about that and humble myself to be able to ask for help. Because it's also it's exercising self-love. And it's okay to say, I need help with this. None of us are designed to be able to accomplish and do everything by ourselves. I mean, I've said before in videos, I'm a Christian, and one of the things I try to tell myself and tell other people is that, well, God didn't make just one of us, and there's a reason. We're all supposed to help each other through life and through these things. So try really hard not to be afraid to ask for help, and if you are afraid to ask for help, do it anyway. It's like a muscle that you have to exercise. I've learned that over the years. It's a muscle you have to exercise. Because the more you do it, the more you realize, you know, it makes people feel good to help other people. I know if I'm needed for something, it's like, you know, it's the highlight of my day because I feel purpose and I feel wanted and I feel needed. And it's certainly the opposite of feeling like a burden. So when you ask someone for help, you know, as long as they're not an a-hole or something, when you ask someone for help, you're giving them an opportunity to feel needed. And that's not a bad thing. So that might help. It's taken a long time for me to figure this out. But it might help somebody be able to go, you know, it's okay. I'm just say, I need help. It's okay. Anyway, you guys, thanks for watching. Have a good night. God bless.